What's going on? 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 Happy Sunday. Hope everyone's having a good one. We're going to be getting into things instantly here, right out the jump street 21. Hope you guys are having a great one. Murray or Knicks? That's a great question. Personally, I would lean with Murray. Westbrook or Bateman? Westbrook. Flowers, Tracy, or Mooney? I would go with, if you want to be safe, play Tracy. If you want the upside, play Flowers. Pick 2, Mike Evans, Brian Robinson, Addison. I would play the, 1 second, is Mike Evans 100% in? Mike Evans. See, this is why why is it so hard to Google certain people's injuries? Like when you look up Mike Evans, it should just instantly tell me, hey, is he in or is he out? But no, they don't want to instantly tell you that. Mike Evans. No, it just ain't telling me. It ain't telling me. I mean, I assume he's in if they're not saying that he's out. So I would play Mike Evans and B-Rob. Would you play Herbert over Daniels? No, I'm playing Daniels. You have to play Daniels. Yo, what's up, Brady? Thank you for the super chat, Frank. I appreciate you. Means a ton. Thank you. Sorry that my bed is a little bit messed up in the background. I honestly didn't even remember to actually fix it, so I apologize. Okay. Defense. Texans, Cardinals, or Falcons? Great question. I like all 3 of those defenses this week besides the Texans. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think yeah, that is a fact, Chuckleberry. That's a fact. But it's not really the fact that they're playing the Dolphins. I don't care, right? Like, if I think that a team is going to absolutely torch my Dolphins, I will just happily tell you to start the defense, right? It's not going to ruin my life, right? To give you guys correct fantasy analysis, right? That's what I try to do. But honestly, the Texans defense hasn't looked that great recently. The Dolphins defense has been on fire. And yes, I get it. If the Dolphins play like they normally do up against teams above 500, they might end up getting railed today, and that wouldn't shock me, but I definitely would stay away from them just because I like the Cardinals and the Falcons a lot better. I have the Arizona Cardinals ranked as my defense number 8, and I have the Falcons ranked at 11. Now, we don't know who the actual quarterback is going to end up being for the Raiders as of right now, since that game is one of 2 games on Monday Night Football tomorrow. So with that said, I think that kind of just makes the argument easier for going with the Cardinals, because if you go with the Falcons and they go up against Aiden O'Connell instead of Desmond Ridder, now I know Aiden O'Connell isn't good, right? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and be like, oh yeah, Aiden O'Connell is this great quarterback, but Aiden O'Connell is levels above what you're going to get out of Desmond Ridder, even though he's not very good, right? So in my opinion, I would just go with the Cardinals. Drake May has looked good in spots, and I do have a lot of respect for Drake May. I think he's a great quarterback, and I think he will be successful at the NFL level. But ultimately, the Cardinals defense, when they're playing well, they do look like a very, very solid defense. I think they'll be able to get to Drake May a ton in this game, potentially pick him off. It says Mike Evans will play today. That makes sense. So I would definitely lean the way of playing the Arizona Cardinals over those defenses. If I had to rank them, it would be Cardinals, Falcons, then Texans. Yeah, I have Mike Evans ranked 18th in my rankings. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't love the matchup up against the Chargers. I think Mike Evans is going to be fine, but I didn't want to bang the drum for him too hard. Pats fan, thank you for the super chat. Please drop your question in chat unless you already did, and you did. It was Freiermuth, Ferguson, or Jawan Johnson. Great question. Now, I think Jawan Johnson is incredibly interesting this week because the fact that the New Orleans Saints legitimately don't have any. They don't have any weapons to throw the ball to, right? So even though the quarterback play is going to be bottom of the barrel, even if the quarterback play isn't going to be very good, I could legitimately see Jawan Johnson falling ass backwards into actually having a decent game, even though I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Jawan Johnson is the most talented tight end in the NFL. I don't think Jawan Johnson is even all that great, but I do think he could end up having a good game here. Interestingly enough, my tight end rankings this week, Pat fan, goes as follows. It is Jake Ferguson 13, Freiermuth 14, Jawan Johnson 15. So that's as big of a toss-up as it gets. I do kind of worry about Jake Ferguson, right? Because I do like Jake Ferguson a ton. My worry is just with the quarterback play there not being the best. And that is kind of going to be the Achilles heel of Jake Ferguson. But ultimately, the matchup here up against the Carolina Panthers is really good. I know he didn't have a great performance last week, but I do think he should be able to bounce back up against the Panthers. So if it's my team, I would play Ferguson again. I have him ranked Ferguson, Freiermuth, Juwan Johnson. They're all back to back in my rankings. Thank you, Justin, for the super chat. Half PPR, Pollard or Ladd, Bucky, Marv, or Hop. Thank you, Goat. No problem. Now, Bucky is a guy that I'm definitely going to be playing today, but I want you guys to fully understand that when you play Bucky Irving, there are a lot more risks this week compared to normal. And what I mean by that is I don't think he's going to get his normal workload. I think he's going to see less snaps compared to what we are used to. He's coming off the injury. Now, again, that is a be safe move, right? Be safe and assume, hey, he might not get that crazy workload. Can he get a bunch of work? 100%. So don't take this as me thinking, oh, he can't get a bunch of work, because he can. But I think projecting and just sitting there and saying, oh, he's 100% guaranteed to get this crazy amount of targets, that's how you're going to, or this amount of touches, that's how you're going to let yourself get disappointed. Now, compared to Marvin Hopkins, I would just play Bucky. And then Pollard or Ladd is a tough question, because in reality, we have no idea if Ladd is going to play or not. Ladd is up in the air. He is a big question mark, where they are going to work on him all the way up until game time to see if he's going to be good to go. That game is at 4:25. Pollard's game is going to be going ahead at 1 o'clock. Now, Pollard's been dealing with injuries, but this is a wet dream matchup up against the Cincinnati Bengals. He's playing. Obviously, in a vacuum, if I knew 100% Ladd McConkey was going to play, the answer would be Ladd McConkey. Right? That is the obvious answer. It would obviously be Ladd McConkey, because Ladd McConkey has played incredibly well. But knowing what we know right now, that they're going to wait up until game time, they're going to test it out pre-game. The team is optimistic he could go. That's a big question mark, and it really depends what your risk tolerance is. Personally, I do think he's going to play, so I would probably rather play Ladd. But if you want to be safe, I would play Pollard. So personally, I'm going to go Ladd. But again, if you want to make sure you just have a guy in, just play Pollard. And then I would go Bucky. G6, like a G6. Thank you for the super chat, my man. I appreciate you a ton. Hey, bro, start 1. Bucky, Keenan, Reed, Hopkins, or Devontae Smith. Start 1, 2, or Hurts. Start 2. Rico, Tracy, Mooney, Najee. Start 1. AJ Brown, Brees, Garrett Wilson. Thanks. No problem. Thank you for the super chat. So Bucky, Keenan, Reed, Hopkins, or actually we'll do this question a little bit backwards here. So AJ Brown, Brees, or Garrett Wilson. G6, if you're looking for your safest bet for the start 1, AJ Brown, Brees, Garrett Wilson, the answer is Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's going to get a boatload of targets. He'll probably finish as a top 24 wide receiver, and you're going to get out of there feeling fine. AJ Brown is in a tough matchup, but I do believe, since he kind of called Hurts out in a way, almost like, hey, I kind of want the ball, this, that, and the other thing. I think that could lead to AJ Brown having like a monster game where he just gets force-fed the rock. So personally, I would be going with AJ Brown, but the safer option is Garrett Wilson. For the other question there, Najee, Rico, Tracy, Mooney, I would personally be going with Rico and Tracy. I think those are your two best bets there. Actually, I think I would go Rico and Mooney. So we're going to go Rico, Mooney, AJ Brown. 2 are Hurts. You got to play Hurts. And then I would be playing Bucky Irving over those other options. So it's going to be Bucky Irving. It's going to be Jalen Hurts. It's going to be Rico. And it's going to be Mooney. And then it is going to be AJ Brown. But again, if you want to be safe, instead of AJ Brown, you can play Garrett Wilson. Thank you for the super chat, Wesley. Got Monty at running back 2. Howdy, what's going on, Wesley? Connor's at the flex. Wide receiver 1 and 2. Sutton, Garrett Wilson. Bench is Charbonnet, Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison, DJ Moore, Waddle. Anything I should change? Thanks. No problem. This is going to be a very, very, very tough question. It's a very tough question, because I think you basically need to have Zach Charbonnet in your lineup. I think Zach Charbonnet is as must play as it gets. The question is, who can you play him over? Do you want to play him over Connor or Montgomery? Now, I have Charbonnet ranked as my running back 8. I have Connor running back 12. David Montgomery running back 15. So my opinion on this would be very simple. If you want to have the safest lineup at running back, you play Charbonnet and you play Montgomery. Montgomery's not going to let you down. Montgomery's not going to have you crying yourself to sleep. Montgomery is not going to do that, right? James Conner can do that. James Conner can score 7 fantasy points. I wouldn't be shocked at all. James Conner could also score 30 fantasy points. I wouldn't be shocked at all. So based on my rankings, I would personally play James Conner and I would play Zach Charbonnet. But again, if you're trying to be safe, which is perfectly fine, the safer thought process is, hey, let's just go David Montgomery and Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet smashes. I think Montgomery has a great game. Again, I have Montgomery running back 15, Connor running back 12, Charbonnet running back number 8. And then in terms of the receivers, I think you got it right. I'm not going to try to jam Waddle or Jordan Addison there. I'm not going to try to jam Aaron Jones in either. So I think you got it correct outside of the running back position. I would go ahead. Oh, I guess Connor's your flex, not your running back too. So I did read that a little bit wrong. So what I would do is I would either, again, you want the safe bet, you're going to play Monty and you're going to play Charbonnet. If you want the risky bet, you're going to go Connor and you're going to go Charbonnet. And I personally lean Connor and Charbonnet. But again, I'm much more risky than a lot of other people. Emmanuel, good morning, Nick. How safe do you feel about playing McConkey over Downs with Herbert also hurt? Downs has been very safe, even with bad matchups. What time is the Colts game? Colts game is at 4:25, so this is perfect. I'm playing Lad. Even with Herbert hurt, I don't think that Herbert injury was really all that serious. Herbert got laid the fuck out. He got sparked, and it was kind of, to me, looked like a, what are those called? Like a stunner? Like he got hit with the stone cold stunner? No, not really a stunner. You get what I mean, though? Like it was a bit of like a jolting awake experience. It was a stinger, I guess, would be the way to word it. Right? He experienced a stinger. I think he's going to be fine. I'm not going to worry too hard personally about McConkey. I mean, about Herbert. I think Herbert's going to be perfectly fine. Now, worrying about Herbert makes a little bit of sense, right? Oh, I don't know about not Herbert. What the fuck am I saying? Don't worry about Herbert. He's going to be fine. But if you're sitting here like, Nick, I'm a little bit scared about McConkey, I get that a little bit more. But in this scenario where you have Downs, if McConkey for some reason does not play, you can just instantly pivot to So I would be perfectly fine playing McConkey. I don't think that the injury is really impacting Herbert all that much. I think McConkey, it seemed like he was going to be good to go last week, and then ultimately they kind of did the weight, like the TikTok thing, they kind of pushed him back a little bit. So that's kind of the way I see things. I would be perfectly fine playing McConkey. One second. So yeah, that's kind of how I see things. I would be perfectly happy playing McConkey over Downs. I just feel a lot more confident in him. That's kind of just how I see things. Felix, thank you for the super chat. Hall or Stevenson? This is tough because Hall, I was listening to the Stochastic stream. I used to work there. It was Lofty and Ben were talking. Great minds. They were talking about how it wouldn't be that surprising if the Jets were kind of like a triple-headed dragon backfield of death this week, right? Hall comes back. The Jets are already dead. They're not making the playoffs. So what's the point in really throwing Hall out to the Wolves? And that's kind of a narrative that does scare me a little bit. Now, the thing is, the coaching staff there isn't playing for anything, right? It's not like Ulbrich is attached to the Jets. So I don't think they're going to necessarily think that way, but that is something that's like looming in the back of my mind. Personally, though, I would just go with Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall and Stevenson are both incredibly risky this week. But Breece Hall is going up against the Jets. And as we all know, the Jets defense is not what the Jets defense was made out to be this season. So I would the Jets. What the fuck am I talking about? He's going up against the Jags defense. He's on the Jets. The Jags defense is terrible. The Jags defense is bottom of the barrel. Stevenson's matchup isn't that bad. Like the Cardinals defense isn't this elite run stopping defense, but I would definitely go with Hall. I just feel a little bit more confident in him. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, ENM. Joey Ford, thank you for the super chat, my man. Pick 2, Mooney, Metcalf, and Hall. Full PPR. Also lost in Njoku. Should I go with Likely or Grant Calcaterra? Appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. It appears you don't have a lot of options at tight end, which is fine. I think I'm more willing to throw my YOLO shot onto Grant Calcaterra just because if he's the tight end one there, which he is because Goddard's not playing, there's a decent chance he finds the end zone. Is it an amazing chance, right? Would I bet my life savings that Grant Calcaterra scores a touchdown? Would I take everything out of the bank and run straight to X Sportsbook and bet it? No, I wouldn't. But when we're talking about these tight ends, Mark Andrews is the starting tight end in Baltimore. Now, could Mark Andrews end up shitting the bed and likely ends up in the end zone? Yeah, of course. But I'd rather just go with the guy that's the tight end one on his team, even if the matchup isn't the best. So I'd go with Calcaterra, who actually played pretty well last time out. And then Mooney, Metcalf, or Hall. Mooney's definitely the lock, in my opinion. I think you kind of have to play Mooney. And then between Metcalf and Hall, I think both of those guys are just incredibly risky. Metcalf has kind of lost his spot as the wide receiver one on the team. It really feels like JSN's the guy. So even with Hall banged up, I think I'm just going to go Hall, Mooney, and then I would go Grant Calcaterra. Thank you for the super chat. Xiao Shong, thank you for the super chat, my man. I really appreciate you. Thielen or McCormick at the flex full PPR? Great question. Good morning, Caitlin. So I really like McCormick. I think McCormick. Now, again, I'm not falling into the trap, right? We fell into the Zamir White trap and it ate us alive. We fell into like the Sarlacc pit or something. We fell into like we tried to, replace the sand with the idol or whatever in Indiana Jones. And then, you're running in a spike track, wax your friend out, right? So I'm not going to fall for it again with the Raiders, but I do think McCormick's actually a very talented player. And I think that McCormick is actually pretty underrated. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's like the greatest running back in the NFL, but he is averaging over 5 yards a carry in 3 straight games. That in itself is impressive, especially since he's on the Raiders. But I don't want to yap for too long. You got to go Thielen. Thielen's been on fire. When anyone plays as good as Thielen has played in back-to-back games, and especially playing very well in a tough matchup last week up against the Philadelphia Eagles, I think I would just have to go with Adam Thielen up against the Dallas Cowboys team that really, like, their defense is playing better, but I do think Thielen's going to be able to expose that. So personally, I would go with Thielen in full PPR. Michael, thank you for the super chat. Bowers or Otten? You have to play Bowers. Bowers, to me, is must start. Bowers is a guy that I was pretty off on early on in the offseason. I was worried because he's a rookie, this, that, and the other thing. He's also attached to, like, an offense that I didn't think was going to be that great. And then, like, right before the season started, I'd say, like, 2 weeks before, when a lot of people were actually watching my videos, then I kind of flipped the script and was on Bowers more, so I'm glad I did that. So I definitely would go Bowers over Otten. I don't think you can sit Bowers. If I was out there a quarterback, I'm playing Bowers as a top 3 tight end. And then London, JMO, or Hall. Definitely got to play London. And I would personally play... it's tough because Breece Hall, again, coming off the injury, this is a wet dream matchup. If he was 100% healthy, we'd be talking about Hall as like a top 5 running back. JMO is incredibly risky. I think they're both pretty risky. JMO is going up against a defense where this could really be a huge shootout. Well, I can see JMO scoring a shit ton of points, but I think I'd play, if it's my team, I'm playing Hall. So we're going to go Hall, London, full PPR, and Brock Bowers. Obi-Wan Ginobili. I hit that Ginobili with my left hand out loud. Woo! What's up, my guy? What's going on, man? How are you doing? Half PPR, D-Hop or BTJ, and Chiefs or Cardinals defense. Appreciate you. I appreciate you as well. Much love. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you to everyone. Just so you guys know, you don't have to super chat for me to answer your question, but if you super chat, you guarantee to get yourself an answer. Okay. Cardinals versus Chiefs. That's tough. That's tough. I like them both. I have the Chiefs ranked 5, the Cardinals ranked 8. The Chiefs have not looked very good offensively, but the defense has still looked good. The one thing, though, about going against Jameis is you really are rolling the dice on, like, Jameis could just throw for 4 touchdowns and it wouldn't shock me. Jameis could also throw 5 interceptions and it wouldn't shock me, right? That's just kind of the guy Jameis is. And that does kind of feel gross to go up against because I could really see the Chiefs defense getting absolutely swallowed alive here, but ultimately that's the smart move. You're going up against Jameis. The Chiefs defense play good. You play in the Chiefs. Then BTJ versus D-Hop. D-Hop has been just the definition of like wide receiver 3 mid. He's not so bad to where it's like, oh, you started D-Hop, you idiot. But he's not been so good where it's like, I started D-Hop. I'm such a genius. BTJ is amazing. The talent is off the charts with that guy. You can just see it with the way he runs his routes, with how open he gets. The quarterback situation is terrible, but he's been a top 20 receiver in back-to-back games. The targets are coming in bunches. I'd go BTJ over D-Hop, and I would go Chiefs over Cardinals. K.E. Taker, thank you for the super chat. Half PPR, a few questions, please, and thank you, no problem. Ravens or Commanders defense, Khalil Shakir or Adam Thielen, and then Rico or B-Rob. Good luck. Thank you. Good luck to you as well. For the defense, Ravens versus Commanders. I think the Ravens are the best defense to start on the week. Tommy DeVito reeks to high heaven. I don't really see a scenario where this game plays out where the Ravens defense gets pulverized. Now, the Ravens defense isn't as good as we would have thought they would have been. So this is definitely not, the best defense in the NFL. But again, the Giants offense is just so anemic. They're so bad that the Ravens are basically must start. So there's half PPR that has nothing to do with the defense question, but it has to do with the other question. So Ravens, Khalil Shakir or Adam Thielen. Khalil Shakir just popped off. Adam Thielen just popped off. The return of Keon Coleman could really throw a wrench into things for Khalil Shakir. Now, that's not me saying, oh, Khalil Shakir's this awful play. Don't start Khalil Shakir. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I do think Khalil Shakir is a little bit more risky this week compared to prior weeks because, again, they have Keon Coleman back. So I would go with Adam Thielen. Again, Adam Thielen has been playing incredibly hot. Adam Thielen has been on fire, NBA Jam style. So I think you have to rock with Adam Thielen over Khalil Shakir. And then B-Rob or Rico Dowdle. Those are two guys that are close to basically being must-start running backs. I have Rico ranked 18th, B-Rob ranked 14th. I think the Washington Commanders are going to absolutely destroy the Saints and be able to run the ball late a ton. So I would go B-Rob over Rico. So we're going to go with Adam Thielen, B-Rob, and the Baltimore Ravens. Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Nick, fed up, pal. Cup and Jennings already played. Calling Evans and BTJ, and then Connor, Charbonnet, and Brown to play in two running backs, one wide receiver, and one flex. I'm sorry about that. I told everyone to start Cup. I told everyone to start Jennings. Let's be honest. I don't think anyone expected that to happen. Now, you could have said, Nick, it was raining. You should have anticipated the rain would affect the game more. Yeah, I get that. But, I mean, Cup's been playing really well. Jennings been playing really well. That was just a bad game, bad look. So I do apologize genuinely about that. That does suck. That does suck. But I played those guys too. So it's not like I just tell you guys to do something and then I do the other. Like, Like, I'm not lying straight to you guys. So I would have played Cup. I would have played Jennings. I would have played all those guys that I thought were going to have big games. So for me here, Evans, BTJ, and then Connor, Charbonnet, and Brown play two running backs, one wide receiver, and a flex. Okay. Let's see. I'm assuming Brown is Chase Brown. So you have to play all three of those running backs, Chase Brown, Charbonnet, and James Conner. Those are just locks. 100%. I mean, Chase Brown's been playing like a top 5 running back. Connor's been playing really well. Charbonnet's on fire, so you got to play those guys. And then Evans versus BTJ, I think I would just go Evans because I do really think that the team wants Evans to get his 1,000-yard mark. I think they are going to force him the ball aggressively. So, personally, I would go ahead and play. I'm going to play Evans. I just think he's going to force the ball. And if that's A.J. Brown instead of Chase Brown, it's still the same sentiment. So you're going to go Brown, Connor, Charbonnet, and then Evans over BTJ. I feel pretty confident in that. Pretty confident in that. Foster, thank you for the super chat. Reed, Amari Cooper, or Dell. Pick one. That's a tough question because all three of those guys to me are just very large risks. Like there isn't really much safety involved in any of those guys, right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend like any of those guys are safe at all. So that does really throw a wrench into things. Amari Cooper played incredibly well last week, but again, I would kind of caution you guys from getting too overzealous with Amari Cooper after one big game with Keon Coleman coming back and him still not playing 50% of the snaps. Jaden Reed absolutely bent you over a table last week if you played him. I have thrown Jaden Reed down into the shadow realm. He's now my wide receiver 39. Amari Cooper's my wide receiver 40. Tank Dell is my wide receiver 49. I'm going to play Jaden Reed just because the upside is there. I think the safest of them all would be Amari Cooper. So if you want to play it as safe as possible, go Cooper. I would go Reed. Greg McKenzie. Hey, Nicholas. What's going on, my man? I appreciate you. Neighbors, MHJ, or Thielen? Great question. I don't want to quit I do not want to quit Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not ready to wave the white flag. I think both of those guys could go out there, put belt to ass, and have one of the better games on the week, top 5, top 3 level performances. But based on how they've both been playing, the smart move is just to play Thielen. Let's be honest. Let's just be real. Thielen is the smarter move. Thielen's been playing very well back-to-back games. He's got a great matchup. If it's my team, I'm playing Thielen. Justin, try it again. I got you. Knicks or Baker, and then JT or Evans. Great question. Knicks or Baker? I would have to go Knicks. I got Knicks ranked 7, Baker ranked 12. Don't take that as I think either guy is a bad play by any means. I think both of them are relatively good plays, in my opinion. So I would personally be going ahead and playing Knicks over Baker. And then JT versus Evans is tough. Why is it tough? Because of the fact that both of those guys are kind of risky, in my opinion. Like, I like them both. I think they're both big name players. I think they're both very talented players. But like with Anthony Richardson, we haven't really seen Jonathan Taylor play at the highest of levels, right? We haven't really seen Jonathan Taylor super elevate on a multiple game standpoint. Evans has kind of shit the bed now in what feels like multiple games in a row, which does kind of scare me. Gun to the head, I would probably play Jonathan Taylor, not by like a wide margin, not like write home about it, tell your kids, oh, you need to play Jonathan Taylor, but I would lean Jonathan Taylor slightly. So I'd go JT over Evans and then Knicks over Baker. So Knicks and JT. Everybody try to fuck JT. Logan Tuck, thank you for the super chat. Judy or Brees from a fellow PK fan, RSK, baby. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out to the real sweet kids. It's funny that people watch me. They watch other podcasts that I watch. Obviously, like a lot of you guys probably watch like the same football podcasts that I listen to, but it is funny when people watch like other podcasts that I like PK. I've been watching PK since I was like 12 years old. Definitely shouldn't have been watching that at 12 years old, though. Judy or Brees? I'm going Judy. Again, Brees is in an amazing spot, but there is a whole lot of worries, in my opinion, that he could just end up completely screwing the pooch, that he could end up being absolutely atrocious, not because he's not getting the ball, like they're just giving the ball to other guys. And Judy's been on fire. No Tillman. Just kind of is making up to be a great spot for Judy. So I would go with Judy personally. Vic TX361, thank you for the super chat, my man. I appreciate you. Non-PPR, one flex, Evans, Hall, McLaurin, BTJ. I had started Cup and Jennings. I apologize. So fucking tough, man. I hate when I give you guys advice that I think, like, again, I'm not giving you advice that I think is wrong, right? I'm giving you guys advice straight from the heart, straight from my gut, things that I legitimately feel are going to happen, right? I'm not going to tell you guys something and then in my own lineup sit them, right? I would, if I had Cup and I had Jennings, I would have played them. It sucks. I don't have to apologize, right? Because everyone thought they would be good, but it does suck. It does really suck. So I would go, you got one flex. I'm going to play McLaurin. I think McLaurin has really lived up to my expectations this season. I've always been a big McLaurin fan. It's a standard league, so you're really just hoping for the end zone. And I feel like this could be the kind of game where the Washington Commanders just uncork. And what I mean by that is like the Washington Commanders beat the ever-living shit out of the team that they're playing, right? I'm talking about a straight up shellacking of the Saints, and where Terry McLaurin finds the end zone maybe even multiple times. So for me, that's the way I would go. I would go ahead and play Terry McLaurin just because I think he's most likely to find the end zone. Pedro, thank you for the super chat, my man. I really appreciate you. Super sticker, I will check that out in a second on my phone. Did you leave a question too? Because I don't want to scroll past it. Pedro, if you have a question, leave it in chat. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone in a second. But Pedro, if you had a question, make sure you leave it. I'm going to pull your name up so I can keep looking. Thank you for the super chat, though. I really appreciate that. That means the world to me. Thank you, Pedro. Brees Hall, Mooney, Addison, Waddle, or Rico. I'm going to keep scrolling just to make sure I didn't miss Pedro's question. It's up here. I have one wide receiver and one flex spot open in my playoff lineup. Pick between Thielen, Mike Evans, JSN, Brian Thomas, Jonathan Taylor, and Higgins. This is an 8-team league. I already started cup. Your team's loaded. Makes sense that it's an 8-team league because otherwise getting that kind of team is crazy. I'm going JSN. JSN has been on fire. I think you have to play JSN. I think JSN's kind of a no-brainer play this week. JSN has been one of the best wide receivers in fantasy football over the last couple of weeks. He has played out of his mind, and I think he's going to continue to play that well, especially because it seems like they don't want to use Metcalf as much. Seems like they've kind of thrown Metcalf to the side to say, I don't want to play with you anymore. So, fuck, what did I just mess up? I just messed something up. Get loose, foot loose, let everything hang loose. Yeah, I just messed something up on my own lineup, but I'll fix it. I figured it out. Actually, I put Nick Chubb in instead of Chuba Hubbard. Silly goose. So yeah, JSN's been on fire. You got to play him. I know Higgins shit the bed, but I really think Higgins is going to bounce back in a big way this week. I think a lot of people are going to abandon ship on Higgins. Oh, I can't play Higgins. And they're going to jump off the bandwagon when Higgins has been playing very well this season when healthy. So I'm going JSN and Higgins personally. JSN and Higgins for you, Pedro. And I apologize that Cooper Kupp ended up screwing you over like that. So JSN and Higgins, thank you again for the super chat. Christopher, thank you for the super chat. Brees, pick 2, Brees, Mooney, Addison, Waddle, Rico. I would go with Rico. And see, I want to play Brees, but again, I think there's so much risk that I'd rather just avoid Brees in this question. So I'm going to go Rico, lock Rico in. And then I think I'm going Waddle against Houston. Where do I have Mooney ranked? Yeah, I'm going Waddle. I'm going Waddle and Rico. Waddle's played incredibly well in back-to-back games. This could be the death of Waddle right now. We're buying back in on Waddle, and he shafts us. But I think the Dolphins are going to have to throw a ton in this game. They've been involving Waddle a whole lot more. Waddle has been an amazing start as of recently. So personally, I'm going to go Waddle. So we're going to go Waddle and Rico. Rico's looked real good. 07, thank you for the super chat. Full PPR, MVS, Shepard, McLeod, Mims, or McMillan. Great question there. I'm not touching MVS with a 10-foot pole without Derek Carr. I know I make fun of Derek Carr a ton, but I would not be willing to do that. McLeod, I think it's got to be between either McLeod or McMillan. I think I'm going to go with McMillan. All of those guys are risky, but McMillan could legitimately get 8+ targets in this game. I know McMillan can't catch, but he did actually play well last week. I'm not ready to crown him. I'm not ready to suck the guy off, metaphorically, of course. And we might end up having to do that if we get to tomorrow, right? Or Tuesday when we make the running back video, right? And it's like, oh, would you look at that? Or the receiver video. What the fuck was I saying? The receiver video. And it's like, wow, would you look at that? He actually played well. He actually caught the ball. Then we're going to start banging the drum for him. But as of right now, I'm not ready to, I don't think any of these guys are safe. So I'm just going to go with McMillan because I think he gets the highest amount of targets. Bigsby or Tracy, PPR. I'm going Tracy. I like Bigsby. I'm a big fan of Bigsby. I think Bigsby is an incredible player. I think Bigsby is great. I love Bigsby, but I'm not ready to say Bigsby is the clear running back one, right? I still think deep down, I think a lot of you guys probably think this, that you could end up still getting completely screwed by Bigsby, right? That ETN could get more snaps. ETN could take over. So personally, I would be going with Tracy. I just think he's a lot safer. Logan, Tua or Knicks? Great question. I have Knicks ranked higher. I think just because Knicks has a lot more rushing upside, and rushing upside is key in fantasy. I have Knicks 7, Tua 9. So it's not like Tua is ranked significantly lower. But yeah, I would go Knicks. I just think Knicks has a lot more rushing upside, and that's what you're really looking for in fantasy. Need one full PPR, Johnston, Watson, or Flowers. I'd go Flowers. I know Flowers has been ice cold. I know Flowers hasn't played well. So I get why, someone might not want to play him. But I think a real smart move would be to just keep rocking with him because of the upside. This game should be a absolute ass kicking. So Flowers should be able to get a couple of deep bombs where he's just like wide open. And again, I know he hasn't played well recently, but I'm not ready to give up on him just yet. So I would still be willing to play Flowers, even though he has screwed the pooch on us a couple of times recently. So I'm personally going to go with Flowers. I could buy myself flowers. Rise above everything. What's up, bro? Kraft or Jawan Johnson? I'm going to go Kraft just because Kraft is attached to a much better quarterback in a better situation. Jawan Johnson could have a big game, and I do like Jawan Johnson. I probably like him more than most people just because I believe heavily in the amount of volume he's going to get, but I definitely would lean with Kraft just because I trust the offense more. Pitts or Otten, I don't think it's Pitts is dead yet time, but Pitts is kind of dead to me in terms of my rankings. Like, he's no longer a top 12 guy. He's my tight end 16. Otten's my tight end 10. He has been a little bit dicey as of recently, ever since Mike Evans did return, but the matchup here is fine enough for Otten, and Otten's a pretty talented tight end. He kind of just went under the radar because of the fact that Godwin was healthy in the summer, but now without Godwin, I think Otten's pretty safe. Definitely safer than Pitts. Shane, thank you for the super chat. Another year in the playoffs with the bye GOAT. Wide receiver core is Hill, Downs, Cup, MHJ, and Smitty. Would you drop any for Elijah Moore? His rest of the season schedule is cupcake. I agree with that sentiment. But the thing is, while Tillman didn't come back this week, I kind of feel like Tillman, it's a concussion. I kind of feel like he's going to come back next week. And Tillman coming back does really throw a wrench into Elijah Moore scenario. Now, Elijah Moore could out-target him in any given game, right? These are three wide receivers that are incredibly talented. Three wide receivers that could out-snap each other in any given game. So I'm not going to sit here and just pretend that that's an impossible scenario to play out, right? But personally, I think Tillman will be healthy, and I think that's enough of a wrench being thrown into Elijah Moore's kind of value to where I just wouldn't want to have him or hold him over those guys. Like Smith, dude, if you cut Marvin Harrison Jr. or like Devonta Smith, those are the kind of guys that your opponent picks them up and they play them against you, and you just get absolutely raw dogged by them. Regardless of how well they played recently, that's just kind of, in my opinion, what would happen, because that's just how fantasy goes. I like Josh Downs. Josh Downs to me is the number one receiver on the Colts. Like, Moore's going to be the wide receiver 3, so I think I would just hold based on what you've got. Personally, I would be holding, so I'm holding what you got. Even if you like his schedule and you're like, you know what, I want to pick him up, drop Downs. That's what I would say if you're feeling very confident about that. Greg, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Greg Ibarra, thank you for the super chat. Greg's question was Bucky Irving, Shakir, or Flowers? I love Bucky Irving. I want to so excitedly say Bucky Irving. I want to say, pump up my chest and be like, it's Bucky Irving because I love Bucky Irving. But I will tell you, I don't love Bucky Irving as much this week because of the fact that Bucky Irving is coming off of an injury, and I worry that they're not going to feed him like you would think they would. I worry that they're not going to feed him the rock like normal, and I'm worried that Rachaad White's going to play enough of a spoiler to completely potentially derail him. Now, he's fine in certain scenarios, but in this scenario, I'm just going to go with Shakir. I feel pretty confident in Shakir's workload. He feels like a very reliable wide receiver 3 with the upside to be a top 12 guy in this matchup, so I'm definitely going to go ahead and play Shakir. Can I play Kincaid Wendell? You can if you want, but I don't love him. Start one from Jew Brony. What a name. Start one. 12 PPR. Started Purdy, Debo already. Elijah Moore, Christian Watson, Keon Coleman, Javonte Williams. Also Smart or Strange. I would be playing Strange. And then you're basically just praying to the gods above that something goes right. Debo absolutely played terrible. Purdy played terrible. I won't tell you I was surprised. Like, I was not surprised at all that Debo shit the bed. I was surprised that Purdy shit the bed. So right now you're basically just hunting for the highest amount of upside possible. You're just praying to the gods above that the upside goes your way. So with that said, we're just looking for the highest upside possible. I'm going to play Elijah Moore. I know it's up against the Chiefs, but they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. And Elijah Moore could end up finding the end zone. I think that's your highest upside play. I don't want to roll Keon Coleman out coming back from the injury. I just don't want to do that. So I'm going to go. And Javonte Williams, like, his upside is okay, but I don't trust him at all. Like, I'd rather just throw my trust into Elijah Moore. So highest upside shot, we're going to Elijah Moore. So that's where we're going. Thank you for the super chat. Citrus Blade, my man, thank you for the super chat. Higgins, DJ Moore, BTJ, JSN Neighbors, pick 3, PPR, thanks. We're definitely playing JSN. We're definitely playing Higgins. And then it's kind of a question between the others. JSN, Higgins, lock those guys in. I've really thrown Neighbors down the rankings. I like Neighbors. I like BTJ too. I have BTJ ranked 25, Neighbors 26, and I have DJ Moore ranked 21st. I know DJ Moore was absolutely atrocious last week, but the Vikings defense is very bad against the pass in terms of fantasy. I know everyone loves to just fucking suck Brian Flores dry, and they love that defense, and rightfully so. It's a great defense, but in terms of fantasy, Higgins, DJ Moore, and JSN feel like the right moves there. Thank you for the super chat. Anonymous, thank you for the super chat. Half PPR, pick 2, Downs, Mooney, BTJ, Ferg, or Otten. Thanks, bro. Thank you. Definitely going Otten over Ferguson. 100% Otten over Ferguson. And then I would go with Mooney and BTJ. I love Josh Downs, but again, Anthony Richardson is so unreliable that I don't think anyone in their right mind should truly be banging the drum for Downs coming off the injury. It just doesn't seem like the smartest move. So for me, I'm personally going to go ahead and hit him with the Dikembe. No. We are not going to be playing Downs. So I want to go Mooney, BTJ, and Otten. Reggie, thank you for the super chat. Lamb, Sutton, or Kamara for the flex? That's a tough question. I love Kamara, but I do worry. Like, I'm starting to worry a little bit more about Kamara than I did a couple of days ago when I made the rankings video. Look, you're still playing Kamara, but the fact is that the offense is going to suck absolute donkey hog, and that is going to obviously impact his value. But he's going to get a lot of passes thrown his way. I would go Lamb. I just don't think you get to the playoffs, or maybe this is your final game if you're in a 10-team league. I don't think you get this far and then kind of just be like, fuck it, I'm not playing the guy drafted with the top 3 pick. Even with the quarterback play not being the best, I don't think I have the cojones to do that, so I'm playing Lamb. I am playing Lamb. Scorpion, thank you for the super chat. BTJ, Pacheco, Bucky, or Josh Downs for the flex? Great question. For me, it's between Bucky and BTJ. Pacheco really hasn't played up to my standards ever since returning from injury. Now, he has looked good. He just hasn't really done it in terms of fantasy. But we got to be a little bit quicker here, so I'm just going to go a little bit faster with these answers. I would personally go, if it's my team, I'm going with BTJ. Again, do I trust BTJ? Not that much, but I also don't really trust Bucky. I think Bucky's touches could be severely decreased compared to normal, so I would go BTJ. Brad, thank you for the super chat. Aaron Jones, McLaurin, or Judy in the super flex. Thank you, Nick. No problem. I really appreciate you. Brad paints this. Do you make painting YouTube videos? That's sick. I am not good at all at anything artistic. I am terrible at drawing, terrible at a lot of things in life. Pretty good at making YouTube videos. Pretty good at fantasy advice. That's about it. That's really all I'm good at, but that is cool. I always like people that are good at painting and shit. That's so cool to me. McLaurin, Judy, or Aaron Jones? It's McLaurin, 100%. I am going to die on the McLaurin hill. I'm going to pass away on the McLaurin hill. I love McLaurin this week. I think McLaurin's going to smash. I'm going McLaurin 100%. This is a great matchup for Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's played very well this season. He's basically a very reliable top 24 guy. It's got to be McLaurin. It's got to be. Eric, thank you for the super chat. Pick 2, Hall, Pollard, Devontae Smith. I don't love Devontae Smith this week because I really do believe that they're going to force feed the ball to A.J. Brown. Pollard, you're locking him in. Great matchup for him. Got to go Pollard. And then it's kind of like a risk tolerance. The safer option, Smith. The risky higher upside options, Hall. I'd go Hall and Pollard. CJ, thanks for the super chat. MHA or Neighbors in the flex. Thanks. I'm going to go Neighbors just because I know Neighbors is going to get me wide receiver 22 through 28 performance. I know he's probably not going to blow up. I know he's probably not going to go ballistic, but I feel pretty confident that he's going to be good enough for me to feel fine, right? Whereas MHJ might not be good enough. He might be terrible. He might end up screwing you directly in the butt. I said, what? In the butt. You want to do it in the butt? In my butt, right? He could absolutely screw you over. That's a Butter song from South Park. And while I'm stuck playing MHJ on my fantasy team, I would go Neighbors. Vic, Jets or Falcons D, and in PPR, ETN or McCormick. I'm going McCormick just because I believe McCormick's going to get more touches than ETN. Jets versus Falcons. I would go Jets because they're going up against Mac Jones. So Jets and then McCormick over ETN pretty confidently. That's pretty funny, my 2 cents. I respect that. Respect. We buy homes near you. Thank you for the super chat. Non-PPR. Hall, Pollard, Rachaad White need upside. I would go personally with Rachaad White. I think Hall has a ton of upside as well. So does Pollard. But again, my belief is that Bucky doesn't get his full allotment of snaps, which is going to lead to us seeing more touches for Rachaad White. I think Rachaad White could end up finding the end zone multiple times in that game. So for me, in non-PPR, you're looking for touchdowns. I'm going Rachaad White. JB, thank you for the super chat. Janu Smith or Braylon Allen. Definitely go with Janu Smith. Janu Smith has been hot. He has been on fire, NBA Jam style. All of these touchdowns keep going his way. It feels to me like that is the smart move would be to go with let's say, I guess. I would not want to play Braylon Allen with Brees back, so it's got to be Janu Smith again. Janu Smith, I know he didn't play great at the beginning of the game, but he finished strong, so I'm going Janu, 100%. Elber, thank you for the super chat. 10-team PPR. Kamara, JSN, Terry, or CD. Thanks, advice, brother. Thank you in advance, brother. No, thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you to everyone. I love you guys. Love you long time. 10-team PPR. I would go CD and Terry. I love Kamara again, but I do worry that this game's going to get out of hand. He's going to get a lot of targets, so he's going to be fine. But I think the safer move is just CD and Terry. Again, you drafted CD in the first round. You're going to keep playing him. And Terry McLaurin has just been playing out of his mind. JSN's been playing very well as well. So I guess between JSN, Terry, and CD, it definitely is a question. But personally, I'm going CD. I have Terry ranked 7, CD 9. I have JSN 14. Kamara's a top 12 running back. But I'm going Terry and CD 100%. K3, thank you for the super chat. McLaurin, Evans, and James Conner / Charbonnet. So it's McLaurin over Evans and Charbonnet over Conner. I like Evans. He's banged up, so I don't love him as much. McLaurin's been playing very safe. James Conner's great, but Charbonnet without Kenneth Walker, I mean, that guy is just a fucking cheat code. So Charbonnet and McLaurin. That would be my answers to those questions. Herberto, thank you for the super chat. Herberto Lopez, I appreciate you. Standard, Flex 1, DJ Moore, JSN, BTJ, JT. You're looking for an end zone. Great fucking analysis, Nick. You're looking for the end zone in a standard league. JSN scored 2 touchdowns over the last 4 games. He's been getting a decent amount of volume. Again, you're really just looking for the end zone. So I would go JSN. I think he's the most likely of that group to score. And that is a decent enough match. It's a good matchup for him. So personally, I would go JSN. I'd rank him JSN, JT, DJ Moore, Brian Thomas. I would go JSN personally. Jonathan Tilzer, thank you for the super chat. Swift, Bigsby. Yeah, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Jonathan and Tilzer. Swift, Bigsby, or Edwards. I'm hurting. It's okay. I think I have Swift ranked the highest, but I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I don't have Swift ranked the highest. I think I moved him down a lot of people have Swift ranked like in the 20s. I have Swift ranked running back 32. The Vikings are really good against the run, and Swift hasn't been the best. The Bears as a whole aren't the best. I would just go Bigsby and hope, pray to the gods, the 7 gods from Game of Thrones. Whoever you want to pray to, Zeus, pray to the gods above that, God, pray to anyone that Bigsby gets the most amount of touches. Because if Bigsby gets the most amount of touches, he could have a big game. It's just I'm not fully confident in that actually being the case, right? I wouldn't go bang the drum reluctantly and be like, oh yeah, he's guaranteed to get the most amount of touches. I just wouldn't say that. So I would personally be kind of, I would personally be real hesitant to play Bigsby, but in this scenario, I think you just have to play him. So it's Bigsby. Jets, D, or Cardinals. Noah Gray, Bellinger are likely. I would play Noah Gray just off the hope he scores a touchdown. And then for the defense, I have the Jets ranked 6, Cardinals 8. That tight end question is really tough. It really is just a crapshoot. I'll be honest with you. It's not like I have Gray or Bellinger or likely ranked super high. So I would just go with Gray because he's played kind of well recently. And then the Jets over the Cards because the Jags matchup. Trey Benson or Braylon Allen stashed for the rest of the season. I would probably rather stash Trey Benson just because if James Conner gets whacked, Benson's going to be the clear RB1. DeMarcado's hurt. So Benson would be in for a boatload of targets, or a boatload of touches, whereas Braylon's kind of going to split. So I'd rather have Benson. But that would be my lean there. Culture Clips. I love you, Nick. I love you too. Shakir or Ridley or Mooney need upside. Now, you're going to feel fucking stupid when the week ends and Ridley shits the bed again, but I would play Ridley. He's going up against the Bengals. The Bengals are one of the nut-low defenses in the National Football League. That is a defense that gets absolutely railed on a weekly basis. So personally, I would just have to play Ridley. Because eventually it's going to go his way. Now, if you're thinking, Nick, I want the upside with more safety, it's Shakir, pretty obviously. But I do think Ridley's going to blast off against the Bengals. If he doesn't, it kind of is what it is, right? I won't get too mad about that because I kind of just know who he is, right? He's been fucking us for weeks in a row. So it's not going to make me cry myself to sleep, right? If he ends up screwing me over because I just kind of know that he could. But yeah, I'm going Shakir personally. I would personally, I don't know why I said Shakir. I would personally go ahead and play Ridley, but if you want to be a little bit safer, play Shakir. Was that all super chats? Wayne, thank you for the super chat. Message below. Thank you. Morning. Good morning to you as well. You need 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. All right, we still have a couple minutes left, so I don't have to zoom through. Evans, London, CD, Tyreek, A-Chain, Old Man, Jones, and Charbonnet. My God, what a question. This is tough. Charbonnet, A-Chan, lock those guys in. Charbonnet and A-Chain are no-brainers in my opinion. At receiver, you have to play CD, you have to play London, and then you have to play Tyreek. That's a tough question because it's hard. I like Jones and I like Evans, but I would not be able to sleep at night sitting CeeDee Lamb. I would not be able to sleep at night sitting Tyreek. Charbonnet is on fire. You cannot sit him. A-Chan has been amazing, even though the offensive line sucks. You can't sit him. And then, so London, no-brainer. CD, no-brainer. Tyreek, no-brainer. So, yeah, to me, it feels like London, CD, Tyreek, A-Chan, and Charbonnet makes the most sense. Even though I like both Evans and Jones, I think that's probably the safest bet. So, Charbonnet, A-Chan, CD, London, and Tyreek. Hopefully that was the bias of confirmation you were going for there. I hope that's who you had. London, CD, Tyreek. So, it's London and CD at receiver, Tyreek at the flex, A-Chan, and Sharp at running back. Sam, Henry, Ertz, or Kraft, PPR. I'm sweating too. I'm always sweating though. Pop the Molly now, sweating. Here, one second, I gotta move this real quick. Okay. Henry, Ertz, or Kraft? See you, Brian. Henry. Oh, fuck. I was in the defense. I was looking through my rankings. All right, I have Henry 12, Ertz 11, Kraft 8. So we're going to go with Tucker, Kraft, mac and cheese. Going up against the Seahawks. Sunday Night Football. Potential high-scoring, back-and-forth, tit-for-tat affair level matchup here. back-to-back games inside the top 8, 3 straight games with 10 or more points. Feel pretty confident in that. So we're going to go with Tucker, Kraft, Mac, and Shiz. Elber, would I be dumb to play JD over Hurts this week? No. Again, I have Jaden Daniels ranked above Hurts. So my quarterback rankings go as follows. Here, I'm just going to flash my rankings actually just all on the screen right now. Share screen, share window. Okay, so these are the quarterback rankings. I have Hurts ranked over Jaden Daniels by one. I have Jaden Daniels ranked over Hurts by one spot. The only real worry for me is that Jaden Daniels beats the shit out of the Commanders super quickly, and then the game doesn't go super long. So it ends up not really being, or the game goes long, obviously, but they're not trying to score as much towards the end. But I would still play Jaden Daniels over Hurts. So I don't think that's dumb. Leo Scott, full PPR. I'm just going to throw all my rankings on the screen. Here's the running back ones. And we'll just zoom out so you guys can see. Full PPR need 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and 2 flexes. Rashad, Breece, Reed, BTJ, Downs. Bucky seems to be playing. Yeah, Bucky is playing. I'm going Rashad White regardless at running back. At flex, I'm going Breece. I think Downs is the odd man out. I think if you want to be safe, if you're like, Nick, I need to be as safe as possible, you play Downs over Reed, right? If you're like, Nick, I want to be as safe as possible, go ahead. But I'm playing Reed. So we're going to go Rashad at running back, Breece at flex, BTJ at receiver, and Reed is the other flex. The odd man out is going to be Downs. I like Downs, but I think Reed, I think a lot of people are going to quit on Reed. And I think that's going to be what happens. So people are going to quit on Reed and he's going to have a good game. Yes, I'm 100% sure about Tracy over Pacheco. 100% sure. So the odd man out there is going to be Downs, Leo. I appreciate the super chat. Here are the tight end rankings. Quentin Johnson or Sincere McCormick for the flex. I would go McCormick. Higgins or Shakir. Higgins, Achane or Sharp. Achane. In PPR. Ridley, Waddle, or Tracy. I would go Ridley. Braylon Allen or ETN. I would go ETN. White, Moore, Smith. I would go Rashad White in non-PPR. Flowers or Downs. Upside Flowers. What's good, AC? How you doing, man? Braylon Allen or ETN. Rate my starting lineup. 10-team PPR. Bo Nix, AJ Brown. I'm going to turn the share screen off because you guys could have paused, I guess, if you want to see the rankings. Bo Nix, AJ Brown, Nico Collins, Gibbs, Achane, Otten, Scary Terry. That's a great lineup. Amazing lineup. I give that like a 9 out of 10. Tua or Sammy. I have Sam Darnold ranked at Tua. It's a toss-up, though. Flowers or Downs. Flowers. Brett, see chat. Oh, fuck. We have 2 minutes. Brett, I don't see it. Brett, leave the question chat really quick. I'm dialed in right now. If you're typing anything like this or slashes and stuff, it might just block out your question. We have 2 minutes, so you should be able to get it, and I should be able to answer it. Make sure you throw it in chat. I don't know why it didn't show up. YouTube is stupid like that. Hawk or Ertz off waivers? Hawk. I'm looking for Brett's question. Flowers or McConkey? McConkey. Terry, JSN, or Pacheco? Terry. Terry, Wilson, or JSN? Terry. Flowers or McConkey? McConkey. Caleb or Stroud? Stroud. No, Caleb for me. Watson, Dobbs, Williams, Gus Bus. J. Will, assuming that's Jameson Williams, and I would go Christian Watson. And Brett, if your super chat didn't work, you could text me on Twitter at NotoriousFNTSY, or you can email me notoriousFNTSY@gmail.com. Sorry that's not working. I don't know why the fuck YouTube does that shit. Oh, fuck, I clicked the wrong button. Ramondre or Kendrick Miller? Ramondre. Jacoby or Mike Evans? Charbonnet and Mike Evans. Douglas or Ferguson? Ferguson. Kyler or Bo Nix? Bo Nix. Mooney or Amari Cooper? Mooney. Fuck, I feel so bad that Brett's question didn't work. YouTube is so annoying. Good luck to everyone. Wayne, Khalil Shakir, Cortland Sutton, or Adam Thielen. I would go Sutton and Thielen. Dobbs or Javonte? Dobbs. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Yeah, and I'm sorry, Brett, that your super chat didn't work. If there's a way you can like charge that back or something, go ahead, because you didn't get your question. Addison or Irving? I would go Addison. And Brett, you can email me your question. I know it's probably useless at this point because it's locked. You can send it to me on Twitter at NotoriousFantasy or my email at NotoriousFantasy@gmail.com. Good luck, everybody. Good luck. Good luck. I apologize. I don't know why the fuck your question didn't work. It's not your fault. It's YouTube's fault. It's all on YouTube. All right, I'm going to turn the game on while we sit here. See if Brett's question can come through, even if it's late. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Roku. I can buy myself flowers. Does anyone else pay for YouTube TV? I mean, the price of YouTube TV for the NFL is ridiculous. I pay $8 gazillion just to watch the Dolphins play. The greatest football team. Turn that game on. I got to turn Red Zone on. I'm going to go sit on the couch. Herbert or Love? Thanks, Herbert. Janu or Laporta? Janu. Thank you, Nick. Hopefully see you next week if I win. Best of luck. Yeah, I have cable and I have YouTube TV for the football. Take them from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. You went with Laporta? That's fine. That's fine. Don't be too hard on yourself. What the fuck? Someone just Venmo'd me? Have you used Venmo me before, Wendell? You have. Thank you. AR, White, or Bucky, half PPR. I'd go White. Goat. I would have stuck with. Yeah, your line is fine. English or Spanish? English or Spanish? Need one AJ Brown, Evans, BTJ, or Thielen. Half PPR. I would go AJ Brown. Tua's running out onto the field. We're in the air. We're on the ground. Evans or Kamara? I would go Kamara. All right. Tua gonna have a big day. I hope so. Miami Dolphins #1. We're late for work, chat. Facts. Sutton or Addison? I would go Sutton. And then, Brett, if you couldn't get your question in, just email me again at Notorious or Twitter at NotoriousFantasy or email me NotoriousFantasy@gmail.com and I'll answer your question. I apologize that it for some reason just didn't work. But I'll make sure to answer it. I would go Adam Thielen, Sophia. And I'm gonna get out of here. It's 1:05. I do apologize that your question didn't work. So make sure you send it via email to me or Twitter. I'll be on the lookout. So I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great one. Thank you, Spock. Thank you, Caitlin, Tyron, all the mods. Know your business. Everyone, thank you so much for the modding in the chat. I appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week. Hopefully everyone's back. You know, you guys ate your W's. You won your games, hopefully. So almost got ran over a car. Jesus. Adam Thielen over Sutton. No, Sutton over Adam Thielen. Good boy. See you guys. Peace out. I appreciate you guys all. Hit that like button on the way out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a video. Good luck to everyone. Best of luck to everyone in the playoffs. And thank you again, Spock, for helping in the chat. Peace out, boys and girls. Goodbye.